Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there in Heat Nation. If you guys could subscribe here, that'd be great. If you guys could also subscribe to the Tobin and Leroy Show, weekdays, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. on 560 WQAM. You can watch us on the YouTube page over there. All right, diving more into this Pat Riley press conference yesterday. It was boots on the ground for this. And, the big headline yesterday was, of course, the tenacious nature around all things Jimmy Butler, his contract extension, his availability, and his just generic trash talking while not playing basketball. Definitely drew the ire of Pat Riley, and I would definitely say it was worthy of the biggest headlines of yesterday, especially with Jimmy's agent coming out and talking to the local beat guys, contesting a lot of what is. And it'll be interesting to see what Jimmy Butler has to say whenever he gets the microphone on this stuff. If he does. Like, again, he may not. I don't really think it's a problem for Jimmy Butler, what Pat Riley said, until the money isn't there. And it doesn't sound like the money's going to be there, but it's officially not there right now. So you don't even Jimmy's agent knew yesterday we're not negotiating in the public. Because I don't think Jimmy wants to go anywhere. I don't think Pat really wants. Pat said flat out yesterday, he was asked about trading Jimmy Butler, and he said no.
Pat, if you guys determine over the coming weeks and months that your non-Jimmy and non-Bam assets are not enough to appeal to other teams to get a quality player back, an all-star, someone of that ilk in return, would you then at that point have to at least be open to considering a trade for Jimmy?
No. Not right now. I mean, you're asking the question, and you want your answer, and you're not going to damn get it, Barry. Okay, whatever your answer. I appreciate the question.
I don't think he does appreciate the question. I appreciate the question from Barry Jackson. Barry was trying to figure things out, and to be honest with you, I think out of yesterday, the thing that I really hope is just posturing and is not the case is the Miami Heat really feeling like there's not major changes. Because there were a few things that Pat brought up that I was like, ugh, that's not going to go over with the fan base. And quite frankly, doesn't go over with your boy Tobes that well. Because, he mentioned a couple things that I was like, bro, don't. First of all, we know how, sensitive this team is with being in the tax. We know about that. That they don't love doing it unless they truly feel like they have a shot to win. But we also know how the fan base feels. There's a big contingency that's like, how can you not spend whatever there is? How do you spend willy-nilly, go get Bradley Beal? You're a gazillionaire. Franchises are worth more than ever. All these things are valid. They're valid points, they're valid questions. You have how many years of sellouts going back to 2016? Nobody wants to hear like, hey, let's gather everybody around again and hope Jaime Jaquez takes the leap. But Pat did make a point yesterday where he says, 6 out of 8 teams are no longer in the playoffs, and the 2 teams that are left are Boston and Denver. Denver's down 0-2. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, but you cannot come at me and be like, well, if Denver gets bounced, be like, only one team in the conference finals made the tax. It's like, yeah, but you also kind of kissed their ass during the press conference, because one thing that Pat Riley did make clear in the whole Jimmy Butler, shut your mouth or keep your mouth shut quib that got all the headlines. Before that, he was praising Brad Stevens and praising all the moves that he made. And they kept their 2 stars intact, but they made major changes, and they overhauled the starting pieces of their starting lineup. And I think nobody's asking the Miami Heat to go out there and trade Jimmy Butler and trade Bam Adebayo, but my God, like, enough with trying to fit this, square peg into a round hole and trying to make this work out and trying to, will this out. Like, we can sit here and we could talk about a lot of deep dives into what are their trainers saying versus what are our trainers saying, and deep dives into the offense. And if you're going to go back next year, all right, keep in mind, this is a core in Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero. Those 4 guys, right? They all have multi-year deals. They've all been here since 2019. If you're going to take a deep dive into what makes them tick and what makes them work together, dude, I don't know what to tell you. You might as well, like, if you're going to roll the ball back out there with those individuals and hope it works out again, I just think you're begging for disappointment. You can do all the deep dives you want. They've been together for a long time. The fact that they don't have some of the best chemistry in the NBA together, or they don't function all the same. And yeah, there could be something said for what Udonis Haslem said, which Pat Riley chastised. And I think the reason is, like, maybe Udonis Haslem got a little bit too honest with the Tyler Hero conversation for the organization's liking, but it's the truth. Like, the UD's sitting here and he goes, look at the metrics, look at the numbers, look at what we are with Duncan Robinson, look where we were with Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero better suited as a sixth man. And I just think that for them to go out this thing and be like, oh, no major changes, or the idea that no major changes are needed, I really don't think that's I hope to God that is not the case, because all the calling out you want to do about missing games and all the calling out you want to do about Jimmy Butler and all that, it doesn't go anywhere if you don't do some kind of an overhaul to this roster. It doesn't.
Was there a point where you, Nick, and Mickey sat and said to yourselves, we need to make major changes with this roster? And do you feel that way? Major changes?
No, not right now. You don't, no. I mean, not the kind of changes that you're suggesting and talking about. So we just want to try to control some of the things that maybe we lost control of, whatever they are, or a little bit of control. But I'm always open, ears wide open, or I'm not doing my job, And so, if anything were ever to happen, I would listen and obviously convey it with them.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I need those ears to be like Dumbo for Pat Riley. I need those ears to be like a bunny rabbit. I need those ears to be like satellites. Ears wide open. I need those things out like antenna for finding something, because control the things you want to control of, cool. You guys want to sit there and you want to say, hey, we want to get a handle on, Jimmy or Hero's personal trainers and advice. Okay, cool. That's fine. But let's be real about this. Jimmy Butler has missed about 20 games every single year since he's been on the Heat. And Tyler Hero his durability has been more in question every single year with the Heat. So, and just to be honest with you, Duncan Robinson, perhaps I'm speaking from a place of ignorance. I got a pretty hard time believing Duncan Robinson's bucking the trend on having some quack trainer that told him to do hot yoga, and that's why his back is broken. So, look, control the things you can control. One of the things you can control, Pat, is the construction of the roster. That's the one thing that needs to have the heaviest look at. Not this idea of, oh, what are the trainers saying? What is the deep dive? And I appreciate that the man needs to keep things close to the vest. I do appreciate that he can't be like Daryl Morey, be like, this entire roster is going to look different outside of Maxey and Embiid. It's like, well, no duh, dude. Nobody else is under contract. Thank you, Daryl Morey, Captain Obvious. Mr. leaks everything, Mr. Media Darling. But, these moves that they want to sit there and they want to say, oh, we don't need highly disagree. When you get bounced from the first round, and going back to my whole point of my, question to Pat, which blew up into something else other than what the point of it was, which is where the gulf is between the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics. Does Pat feel like it's, well, based on him, he said he sat there sipping tequila for 2 hours and that he was miserable and that he was, going out there and look at him, like, oh, Boston, good.
The only thing that was true, really, about what he said the other day, he said, I know Riles home right after that game at 3 a.m. flying back, and that he's already upset and he's miserable and he's going to get to the bottom of it tonight. No, when I got in at 2:30, I changed. I went to the bar. I turned the game on. It was on replay. I turned the volume down. I put 2 ounces of Pantalones, okay, tequila, along with some lime juice, 3 ice cubes, and I sipped it for 2 hours watching that damn game. I didn't want to hear it. I just want to watch it. And I realized how good Boston was, so. And then I finally, when my sleeping medication kicked in, I went to bed and slept till noon the next day, and then got ready for exit meeting. So, yeah, I had about 8 hours to be miserable.
Better experience than I had watching that game, which was 30,000 feet in the air, and then just sad in Vegas by myself with Leroy, thinking, oof, that golf was long. That was hard. That was a rough series to watch. I could have used some expensive tequila watching that series or rewatching that series. But how do you not watch that series if you're Pat Riley? Yeah. Jimmy Butler not playing, Terry Rozier, you could cope about it. We can sit here and Pat, and I'm sure there's maybe a level of Pat that thought that this is the same guy, right? That like put up there where, he had the what ifs with the 2020 finals. But this isn't the finals. This is the first round. And this is a team with expectations that was a surprise team. So I do think it goes through a different prism if you're the godfather there. But major changes not needed? No. That cannot be. I'm sure some of it is just not showing your cards publicly, but truthfully, Pat, Nick, Mickey, Andy, Spo, the crew, they have to take a hard look at this roster. You want to talk about deep dive? You could deep dive into trainers. You could deep dive into nutrition. You could deep dive. Fine, dude. But how can they, in their heart of hearts, look at these 15 guys and think, bringing most of these guys back, we got to figure it out.